qui en bas on dans mon appelé jeter parole de haine sur la vie transformer en haine. Tout gens moun très tôt et ou permettre les très tôt ils viennent définir caractère. Ils viennent habitude de penser.
Became prosperous still due to its popularity of praises from those who gravitated towards inequality and racial estrangement.
Et tout ça c'est bagaille pour nous apparaître laide. C'est ça que fait nous gain devoir pour nous produire des nouveaux photos, complexion, nous, richesse, nous, beauté, nous, manger, nous. Parce que c'est ça examen. C'est avec lui fait propagande à compte, c'est avec tout élevé.
Now, with all of that being said, I'm going to use the title of an article that I created back in 2016 that went viral and accumulated 7 million views in 2 months. And nearly every website known to man was copying and pasting my article on their website for views and, of course, ad revenue. And the title is 98% of African Americans are in fact native Indians and are owed millions.
C'est 98% moun qui a vécu ici à que les Africains américains de descendants natifs indiens.
Now, you might be saying, well, Dane, what about the other 2%? The other 2% will be the very, very small amount of Africans. Now, of course, I'm about to give you true.
Les disent comme ça que 2% ça, c'est vraiment moun ça qui sorti en Afrique là. Ça peut pas de débat comme ça.
Full information about this before it somehow disappears from the internet, because this rabbit hole is in fact much deeper than one may assume. Listen closely. On the date of September 25th, 2008, in a statement made before the Senate Committee on Indian Affairs by Representative James P. Morin,
nous bon non représentatif là, nous bon date là.
September 25th, 2008.
Septembre 25 qui ça?
Closely. On the date of
James Baldwin qui a fait que son honoré dernièrement là, de Raoul Peck saute pour la nomination pour lui. Nous connaissons qui est James Baldwin? Non? Okay.
September 25th, 2008, in a statement made before the Senate Committee on Indian Affairs by Representative James P. Morin on the grounds of the Thomasina E. Jordan Indian Tribes of Virginia Federal Recognition Act, Morin stated, quote, "This is a travesty this committee can correct. The second unique circumstance for Virginia tribes is what they experienced at the hands of the state government during the first half of the 20th century. It has been called a paper genocide. At a time when the..."
Là, la parole d'un terme qui est le paper genocide. Paper genocide, là, c'est là où sorti une série de lois volontaires, mais on connaît le droit, ça, c'est une série de lois qui va le mettre en papier, en paquet. Loi l'autre monde. Là, c'est tuer natif américain, et voilà le mouton qu'il est, il fait quoi, il a fait quoi, qu'il a fait là longtemps. Il a effacé, dossier effacé. Si vous connaissez, non, ou héritier.
The federal government granted Native Americans the right to vote. Virginia's elected officials adopted racially hostile laws targeted at those classes of people who did not fit into the dominant white society. The fact that some of Virginia's ruling elite claimed to be blood descendants of Pocahontas in their view meant that no one else in Virginia could make a claim they were Native American and a descendant of Pocahontas' people.
Sans parole, quand tu déclares tête que c'est non-white, parce que sous ce non-white, ou sont negroid. Selon la loi, bien sûr.
With great hypocrisy, Virginia's ruling elite pushed policies that culminated with the enactment of the Racial Integrity Act of 1924.
Il était sorti une loi qui était le Racial Integrity. Mais c'est toujours là, toujours pas ce qu'il y a dans la rue. Apprendre à causer. Ça veut dire loi ça toujours là.
This act directed state officials and zealots like Walter Pleckler to destroy state and local courthouse records and reclassify in Orwellian fashion all non-whites as colored.
Tout monde qui pas blanc mais tout colored. Ça dit que tu fais ça faut que tu boule les documents yo, boule certains papiers. C'était l'époque paper genocide là, c'était comme ça.
It targeted Native Americans with a vengeance, denying Native Americans in Virginia their identity. To call your
Yo vin retirer yo identité yo nan men, donc yo vin pa gen droit, yo vin pa gen droit, yo vin pa gen statut.
self a Native American in Virginia
Kounya yo wal oblige vendre tête yo a système nan pi yo ka vive.
was to risk a jail
Vendre lait, vendre tout bagay, bay lo pa gen statut yo dépossédé de terre, c'est ça que les conversion.
sentence of up to 1 year. Now, in this statement, he used the term Native American. But the truth is that our identities were changed not from Native American, but from Indian to colored. And they were not only jailing people in Virginia for claiming their true identity, they were killing them by hanging them from a tree, and in more ways than just one that I won't.
Donc moun nou te kon wè kap mori yo, yo te kon ap pan yo. C'était moun qui kon ap di vraie identité yo. Indigenous. Yo was wak an ken te boy ici ak les Indiens. Donc yo te kon pan nou. Nous indigènes, c'est mort. Pouti vérité ça.
Mention in each state across North America. The biggest bigoted racist white supremacist of them all, and that's including the federal government and all of those who praise this coward's derogative motives and agenda, was none other than Walter Ashby Pleckler.
The Plecker era was truly one of the darkest times for Native people in.
Mais madame ça font témoignage. Et pour nous connaître tout pour native ça yo que yo te les native là, ça yo les indien je dis à qui c'est indigène même Jacques yo. Puis chita là de chercher contre la loi. Puis je dis à peu qu'à devil manger, faut de chercher contre la loi, copier droit de personne normale.
Virginia. But I think it's critical for us to think about what was the genesis of the ideology that Plecker was a proponent of. And it's really the eugenics movement. The eugenics movement was a pseudo-scientific movement. We say pseudo-scientific today because we find that the science that they were proposing.
Ça son collège, ça son docteur en philosophie, puis il dit, il a un doctorat dans même cap dit que eugenics ça c'est un pseudo-scientific méthode, mais qui est capable de dire que son outil. Donc il pas respecter les normes scientifiques. Donc une série de lois, une série d'énoncés qui tournent en loi, qui étaient contraires jusqu'à présent dans la constitution qui a fait fil à rien, c'est qu'on connaît dans tout pays sur la terre. Est-ce qu'il parle pour nous adopter un amendement constitutionnel?
Is not what we today would honor as scientific in any way. The eugenics movement has a direct link to the descendants of Charles Darwin. They somehow made the leap to these notions about racial purity. What is best?
Charles Darwin, qu'on s'appelle détaillé là. On t'a peut-être dans commençant ça qui genre le jeune Obama t'a parlé sur ça. Donc on sait que de monde Charles Darwin a parlé de racial purity, de race qui pure. Et si on gagne race qui pure sur la terre, moi avoir si un pipi passe nous, eh ben pipi lié.
Best for each race is racial purity. Plecker and his friends convinced the Virginia legislature to adopt very restrictive legislation in 1924. It's called the Racial Integrity Act. With this legislation, it was decreed that there were only two possible categories. One is white, which means a person you check that you're white if you have white ancestry, Caucasian ancestry, and absolutely nothing else. The other category is everybody else, and that's colored. So this was very hard on Virginia's indigenous community because, in a sense, it wipes away their identity on paper. Their ability to describe themselves as Indian was not possible in the state of Virginia until 1968, when the U.S. Supreme Court forced Virginia to repeal the law.
Keep in mind that our elder family members' birth certificates were changed multiple times to state colored, Negro, mulatto.
Donc chaque fois yo changer birth certificat ou venir avec nouveau forme, nouveau bail, yo tout bon petit phrase yo changer la donne. Les dit ouais pour ça yo mettre créole la donne. Sauf façon de cabeto en bas couleur, en bas black, en bas bagay. Ça c'est de la loi n'a parlé donc.
Creole or even black as their classifications of racial identity by way of the federal government systematically. So, the moral of this segment is that you have been lied to by your government,
Monsieur dit yo bon menti.
history programs,
Moun qui fait l'école yo bon menti.
your college professors,
Moun qui professeur yo bon menti tout.
multiple out of Africa theory books,
Tout le monde ça cap dit nous sorti Afrique esclavage theory book son menti.
and even inadvertently or purposely, people that shares the same hue as you and I.
Donc ça c'est là nous arrivé. Pendant ce temps